I just ordered 3 personalized cat collars for strays outside. Do y'all know I already have 4 cats? Does that make a difference? No. Because when I move, them babies are coming with me, for sure. Cats make me happy. I'm that crazy cat lady, and I never even knew it.
Hi Curslings. Today we're talking about the Resilient Jenkins because things aren't looking too great at the moment. We still do not have any confirmation from Stephanie about whether or not they have secured a new place to live yet. And currently, it really seems like they have not. So that's, yeah. Now, according to Stephanie, they have been applying to places and they actually just got rejected from their first application due to a bankruptcy on her record.
18 days until move-out date, and we've yet to be accepted into a new place yet. In fact, one of the first places that we put an application in for came back with the result really quick and denied us because of a bankruptcy on my record.
A bankruptcy that Stephanie then blamed on her mom because of course she did. Everything is always someone else's fault, according to Stephanie.
And I got my mom to think that I have a bankruptcy on my record, but that's a story for another day.
Stephanie also complained about the application fees themselves, something that I had never heard of before as a Canadian living in Quebec. Apparently, though, this is a standard practice in the USA, and the fees basically cover the cost of a background check or something. Oh, and they're also usually non-refundable, so that's super cool. It's not cool. This, in turn, contextualized this part of Stephanie's recent comment about potentially making a GoFundMe, where she wrote, "I could see how potentially reaching out to our online community and setting up a GoFundMe could benefit us during this time, especially with the high possibility of multiple application fees." Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. Anyway, in her video, Stephanie talks about how discouraging it can be to spend upwards of $100 per application just to be rejected.
And I'm sorry, but there's just something wrong with these application fees, because of spending $120 just to be denied, it gets pretty discouraging when you're already trying to be careful with your finances.
And that they are actually anticipating on making multiple applications. Future tense, as in they haven't applied to multiple places yet, at least not at the time of this video. So that's reassuring.
It gets pretty discouraging when you're already trying to be careful with your finances, and there's a high potential you're going to have to put in multiple applications for multiple places.
Worse, it appears that as of today, the Resilient Jenkins are planning to abandon their 4 cats. Yeah, you heard that right. Now, Stephanie didn't outright say that they're going to leave their cats behind, but rather that they're not planning to have any indoor cats after they move.
After debating for some time, we decided we will not have indoor cats when we move,
as they've decided to make them permanently outdoor cats.
But we feel now it's just the best interest in all of our family members to have them just be outdoor kitties. That does not mean we just stick them outside and not take care of them. Our cats still get plenty of cuddles and they get fed every day. But this way, they get to be the free spirits they like to be outside, and we can go about preventing some of the damages that cats bring to a home, as well as all the cat hair. But we always still love our fur babies.
Stephanie even went so far as to film herself throwing away their litter boxes, which someone would point out later in the comments would actually prevent their cats from finding their way home. So that's super great. Now, in the post description on Facebook, Stephanie reiterated their decision to do this, writing, "The day is quickly approaching. Drew and I have discussed many changes we want to bring into our new home to improve the overall health and comfortability of everyone in the home. The fur babies will be outdoor pets only." Adding, "Our cats have adjusted and know to keep close to the complex. They come back a few times a day for food and cuddles, but other than that, they mostly explore the outdoors like cats like to do. We believe in letting animals be free spirits while still being there to provide food and cuddles and warmth when needed. Our fur babies will always be a huge part of our family's story, etc., etc., etc. In the TikTok, Stephanie will justify their decision by stating that, in her opinion, it's cruel to force cats to stay indoors that don't want to be indoors or something.
It's always been my opinion that if you have cats and they act like they want to go outside, let them outside. They're animals. And I don't mean for that to sound any bit insensitive. To me, it seems like you're doing the cat a disfavor when they're asking to go outside. That's where they want to be happy, and you're not letting them go.
Oh, and because they were damaging the apartment and she was sick of cleaning up after them, I guess.
And let's be honest, as much as we love our fur babies, they sure do mess up the inside. I won't miss waking up to cat hair all over my counters.
Now, it's unclear what Stephanie means by all of this. Whether they're planning to abandon the cats when they move, like a lot of people seem to think.
I just ordered 3 personalized cat collars for strays outside. Do y'all know I already have 4 cats? Does that make a difference? No. Because when I move, them babies are coming with me, for sure.
Or if they intend to take them with them, but just keep them outside.
This is my beastly baby girl. This girl has been outside in that freaking freezing cold for the past 4 or 5 days. But last night she was like, you know what, guys? Nope, I'm not being stubborn tonight. I want you guys to bring me in. And she's been so sweet. I missed you so freaking much. Bro, this cat insists on being outside. She is... And I respect her wishes most of the time, but yesterday she finally gave in, and I have not stopped cuddling her because I freaking missed her. Hi, baby. Honestly, such a freaking beast. I'm so proud of you. Good job. Shout out to all the cats and animals getting through this freaking weather, bro.
It's hard to say. However, I personally think that the Resilient Jenkins have no intention of bringing their cats with them. Otherwise, why would they make them permanently outdoor cats 12 days before they're to move? Wouldn't you want to make this transition after the move so that the animals have a chance to acclimate and get used to their new surroundings and all of that? Because every cat owner knows that cats do not handle change well. They are high stress animals. So wouldn't you want to make this process as easy as possible if you are truly planning to bring them with you? Just saying.
To me, it seems like you're doing the cat a disfavor when they're asking to go outside. That's where they want to be happy, and you're not letting them go.
Yeah, no, they're definitely gonna abandon those cats, which, for the record, is super friggin' illegal in Oregon. Now, understandably, within an hour of making this post, the Resilient Jenkins were hit with a tsunami-sized wave of backlash, including from their remaining supporters, because if you can count on one thing when it comes to the internet, it's their feelings around cats and animals in general. I mean, after all, there is an entire Netflix docuseries literally named Don't Fuck with Cats, which is about the internet sleuths who were tracking Luca Rocco Magnotta for animal torture leading up to his murder of Lin Jun in Montreal. Fun fact, I actually lived in the same neighborhood as that murder. That was a fun day, let me tell ya.
The murder he's accused of was horrifying. A torso found in a suitcase outside his apartment. A hand and foot mailed to political parties in Ottawa. Days later, another hand and foot arrived at 2 elementary schools in Vancouver. Police still haven't found the head.
So yeah, just when you thought the Resilient Jenkins couldn't stoop any lower, they go for gold and prove us otherwise. And then 3 hours and several hundred comments later, Stephanie responds, writing in this massive comment. If you had actually listened, I'm imagining she said this very snarkily, you would have heard that these cats were strays long before we arrived. Now this is actually semi-true, as technically one of those cats was a cat that Stephanie brought with her when she moved in with Drew. But go off.
Prior to me and Drew getting together, I had 1 cat and he had 1 cat. The cat that he had was a stray that came in from outside, and the cat that I had was a cat that I received from a friend. Becoming a family, we brought in 2 other stray cats. So at one point we did have 4 cats in this apartment.
There is, in fact, many strays in the area where we live. When we decided to have indoor/outdoor cats, we took the extra step to have the 3 male cats neutered and kept them in the home to heal. The cats have always been indoor/outdoor cats. The only time they spent the majority of the time in the home was during cold weather spikes. But even then, One of the cats chooses to be outside most of the year. That's where she wants to be. Maybe you haven't experienced cats that prefer the outdoors, but these cats will literally sit by the door scratching and meowing to go outside. Now I'm gonna stop Stephanie here because I had a cat like this, Gandalf, who I could not, for the life of me, make be an indoor cat. He did not want to be one, and every single time I tried to bring him back in the house, he would attack me like I was trying to murder him. So I gave in. And during his 5 years on this earth, because he died this past summer, he was hit by a car and had 3 fractures in his pelvis. He was bit by ticks twice. He had worms at least 2 times, which was super gross, by the way. He had multiple infected wounds from fighting other cats in our neighborhood, which required antibiotics each time after pus exploded out of him. He had been attacked by the blue jays in our neighborhood to the point where they had ruptured his eardrum, and then he died. And it sucked. And I don't regret the thousands of dollars I spent trying to save his life. And despite Gandalf's overwhelming preference for the outdoors, he actually liked to sleep in my son's playhouse. We always made sure that he always had the option to stay indoors, which he did tend to do in the winter, but also I live in frickin' Quebec, so winter here is an entirely different ordeal than it is in Oregon. Either way, miss me with this excuse, Stephanie. You still have a duty of care to your pets. Full stop. Anyway, Stephanie continues writing, while inside, the cats do normal cat stuff, like jump up onto counters, scratch holes into the carpet, and bring unwanted pests inside. And while I'm aware that the pest part could be controlled with expensive medication, that's not always possible to provide for multiple animals. So then don't have pets. And maybe I seem like I'm being harsh here, but if you cannot afford just basic flea treatments for your cats, maybe you shouldn't have pets.
And yes, I am aware that's probably more than likely why we dealt with a flea issue to begin with. We just wanted our kids to experience having their fur babies inside with all the cuddles they wanted.
I don't care, Stephanie continues fittingly, if you don't see the reality of that. It's not your life affected by it, it's my family's. And mine and Drew's call what's best for our kiddos. I said nothing about leaving the cats when we move. You decided to speak that narrative yourself. We are not garbage people for doing things a more nature nuthead way. Just because your opinion doesn't match mine doesn't make me garbage. Have the day you deserve. Now, like I said, technically this is true. Stephanie has not outright said that they plan to abandon their cats, nor would they probably because, again, it's super illegal. Typically, you don't advertise the illegal things you're planning to do. Typically. That said, I also don't believe that they have any intention of bringing those cats with them. Otherwise, they would have waited until after the move to get them acclimated and then transition them to the outdoors. I could be wrong though. We'll see. Then Stephanie edited her comment to add the following, writing, also, if I lost supporters over this, it is what it is. I said nothing about abandoning any animals. People choose to hear what they want, and it's a risk we take when being open and honest on social media. I'm sharing the real, raw truth of what's happening in our life. If you can't be supportive and understanding, then it's just not for you. Yeah, okay. Except I have it on good authority that the Resilient Jenkins had family trying to help them move into a bigger apartment over a year ago, and they turned them down. They ghosted them. So real, authentic, open, honest, where? Because if you were real, honest, raw, authentic, open, whatever adjective you need to apply to yourself to justify being garbage, you would have accepted the help when you had it to avoid this fucking situation. But that's just me, being real, honest, open, and authentic. As for their looming eviction date, the Resilient Jenkins have less than 12 days to find a new place, or I imagine they're going to end up in a homeless shelter. And what I find frustrating about their current situation is the fact that Stephanie and Drew were aware of this outcome. They knew this was coming because the process started back in December 2024. See, recently, their eviction court documents were leaked, and in them, it was revealed that the Resilient Jenkins were first notified on December 11th for overdue rent. So to all of the content creators out there that are currently pushing the false narrative that the Resilient Jenkins are getting evicted because a bunch of people reported them and people are mean and trash, blah, 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 stop it. Because Stephanie herself spilled the beans on why they were being evicted in this post back in January. And now, with the help of court records, we know for a fact that this is why they are getting evicted. because their rent was past due by $2,086 before utilities and late fees, and that they were given until December 24th to settle up, which they didn't do. Which in turn begs the question of how they could fall behind on rent when Stephanie was seemingly making some money through TikTok's creator fund, even if it was just a few $100s.
I seen this comment that someone said they calculated up how much we'd be making on social media, and it's like 18 grand a month. Man, I freaking wish.
I mean, it's not like they had to spend a ton of money on Christmas, because they had farmed out the bulk of their Christmas shopping to their Amazon wishlist, which was pretty much bought out completely by their supporters. In fact, according to Stephanie, their income hasn't really changed all that much since this time last year, when they last looked at an apartment.
Like I mentioned, our income has not changed too drastically from the last time that we tried to apply for other apartments. That being said, we still don't qualify income-wise for anything more than a 2-bedroom. Maximum capacity for most 2-bedrooms is 5 people, and we have 7. Of course, it would be incredibly ideal to be in a 3 or 4-bedroom, but income-wise, we still can't afford that.
Then there's the fact that the entire reason they only have the Jetta now is because Drew convinced Stephanie to get rid of her minivan to save $700 a month.
I just wanted to make a little video because a while back you might have seen us post about how we went and got a secondary vehicle. Well, we're actually on our way to return the van. And it's a financial decision. It's not something that, it's not like we can't afford both vehicles, because if we really pushed and grind and get it together, we could, but it makes other opportunities just a definite no for us. And we had a lot of summer goals. We wanted to move. We wanted to be able to camp a couple times this summer. And our van is going to need like $2,500 put into it. And that would just really put a damper on us being able to do any of those summer plans. So, and the fact that we're already paying $700 a month for it, basically just to sit and not be able to go more than 2 or 3 miles at a time.
$700 that Drew then convinced her would help them secure a new apartment by summer 2024. And look how that worked out.
Now my hubby, he is the type to work himself to the fucking bone and carry financial stress, and he won't say shit to me. And I was just like, baby, something's going on. You need to talk to me. And he's like, babe, if we don't do something about the vehicles, we're not going to be able to move. It's just not a reality for us. And I'm like, dude, there's no way in hell we're going to put off experience, the possibility of moving, being able to camp, just experiences for a vehicle that we're paying $700 to sit. No, that makes no freaking financial sense. Yeah, this is the financial decision we're making, and I'm praying that it's gonna give us the push we need. I mean, we're to the point where like it's like the cats or the cars, and I'm like, bro, the cats. So we're gonna take it down to 1 car, see what we can do, and I doubt it's gonna be more than like 6 months to a year before we have a second car.
So I gotta ask, if the Resilient Jenkins were truly saving up for a new place, like they've been telling their audience this entire time, how the hell could they have ended up in this situation to begin with? Why didn't they accept help from family when they had it? Why did they wait until after their hearing in February of this year to start looking for a new place to live? And why the fuck are they forcing their cats out of their apartment before moving if they truly do not intend to abandon them? I'm telling you, curselings, something's not adding up here. It doesn't make sense. And when things don't make sense, it's usually because it's not true. What do you think? Anyway, that's it for me. I want to thank everyone for liking, commenting, and subscribing, with a big, big thank you to my mods and members. As always, you guys are rad, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!